Today we shall be putting in the rest of the blocks to this layout and testing as we go, and also adding another loco and to see how this loco will interact on the layout. Go to track plan, click on edit panel, and now we can drag block 3 in line with the tracks here. With block 3 we're going to use two sensors, FB3 and FB4. So let's now make sure the power is switched off, go to File, go to Router and Routing. Now the route generator has created two routes, from block 2 to block 3 and from block 3 to block 2. Note it is from the minus side of block 2 to the plus side of block 3 and vice versa. Right click on block 3 and go to Properties. Go to Routes, and here we have the block here. This is the one we need to put in two sensors. The first one is going to be FB3, and that's going to be the event called Enter. And the second sensor shall be the FB4, which is going to be the event In. In other words, that is where I want the train to stop in the block. I also am going to put in an event timer, 1000 milliseconds. Now again, this may have to be adjusted as the train goes in and out of block 3. Click on Apply, OK. I now need to go to block 2, Properties. From block 1 to block 2 we've got the sensor FB2 and the event is Enter 2 In. Block 3 to block 2 is going to have exactly the same sensor. FB2, Enter In. Enter 2 In. We may have to put an additional timer for this block, but we'll test it first to see how it is. So Apply, OK, close that. Now we have the block 3 in and the route set and the sensors set up. We shall need to look at the speed of block 3. Right click on it, Properties, go to Details. At the moment it is set to mid. We wanted to set it to percentage, and this time I would change it to 7. Arrive at the block at 7% and it shall depart the block at 7% as well. Same again, we can change how the train arrives through various methods, at which speed. Apply, OK. So now we can take the locomotive from block 2 to block 3. You shall go to track plan, operate, switch on the power, switch on auto mode, and we'll left click the locomotive in block 2 and drag it to block 3. Locomotive starts up, moving very slowly as I set the speed to 10%. It triggers blue when it goes to the enter. It triggers pink when it goes to the trigger in. You can also see the track has went to red. The reason being is if I take it out of automatic mode, I right click on the track and properties. When I done the routing the last time, it is now given the block ID as block 3. This does it itself, you don't have to do anything for it. It does it automatically for you in routing. So now we can take the locomotive back from block 3 to block 2. At the moment, I'm not happy with the position on block 2 for the locomotive. I'd like it to come into this block a bit more. So switch off the auto mode, right click, properties, go to routes, block 3 to block 2. The event timer was set to 5000, which I'm happy with when it goes from block 1 to block 2. But going from block 3 to block 2 is too short. I need a bit longer time event to enter the locomotive into the block. So if I tick on T2 for timer 2, and down here, we'll call this one 7000 milliseconds. Apply, OK. Now when I take the locomotive into block 3, it should stop in the same place. And when I take it back to block 2, it should enter the block by 2000 milliseconds more. As we can see, the locomotive has moved a bit further into block 2, which I'm happy with now. So let's add block 4 and block 5 in. Same again, one block at a time. Take it out automatic mode, click on track plan, edit panel. I take block 4 into a line with the tracks. This time block 4 has got one sensor and it is going to be sensor FB5. I switch off the power, I go to File, Router, Routing. It has now created an additional 2 routes, block 1 to block 4 and block 4 to block 1. So now we need to set up the sensor, and also we shall do the speed as well. If I right click on block 4, properties, go to routes, block 1 to block 4, we're using sensor FB5, and it's only one sensor, therefore we need to give it the event of enter to in. We should also give it an event timer, much the same as block 2, to start off with 5000 milliseconds. Apply, OK. We have block 1 to block 4 programmed into the computer. Now we need to make sure we set block 1 for going from block 4 to block 1. And block 1 again shall be using one sensor, FB1. So I right click, properties, routes, block 4 to block 1, sensor, FB1, and the command or event shall be enter to in. Apply, OK. With block 4 we shall set the speed a different method. We shall use the route speed from block 1 to block 4. If I go to tables, go to routes, block 1 to block 4, speed. Now we shall use a percentage for each one. For the moment, I don't have to set the weight percentage, but I like to do them all at the same time. Let's make it go a bit faster into block 4, and we'll make it 15% this time. Apply. Okay. So, also need to set the speed from block 4 to block 1 as well, and we're going to do the same with the route. Block 4 to block 1, speed, change the percentage, 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 the same again, we should make them 15%. Now we shall take the locomotive from block 1 to block 4. Switch is changed, and also you notice the signal has changed as well for us. So it shall now go into block 4. Stop. It has gone in a little bit too far, and it has triggered this sensor here. This is not the sensor for this block, it's for block 5. So let's make the locomotive go in a little bit less. Turn out of auto mode, right click, properties, routes. So we set it to 5,000, let's change it to 2,000. Now save again, this is what I'm sucking and seeing, experimenting to get the right settings for how you want or where you want the locomotive to stop. Now I've changed the timer for going into block 4, let's try it. First we shall take the locomotive back to block 1. And now we shall take the locomotive from block 1 to block 4, and this time it should stop short before triggering the sensor. If not, we shall need to go back and visit the timings. So I shall turn blue, and this time I shall measure 2000 milliseconds before getting the in command, and it stops just perfect where I wanted to stop. If I wanted to go in further, I could go back and change the settings, or vice versa. If I wanted to stop a bit closer, I could change the timings again. So that's block 1, 2, 3 and 4 complete. Let's put block 5 in. Switch off automatic mode and also switch off power. Go to plan, edit panel, left click and drag up block 5. With block 5 I have got 2 sensors in this block, FB6 and FB7. 6 shall be enter and 7 shall be in. So let's go to File, Router, Routing. So now it has generated another 2 routes, block 4 to block 5 and vice versa, block 5 to block 4, noting it is the minus side of block 4 to the plus side of block 5. So I shall go into block 5, right click, properties, routes. So from block 4 to block 5, FB6 shall be enter, FB7 shall be in. The same again, I shall enter an event timer of 1000 milliseconds. If need be, we can come back and change this event timer. Apply, OK. Going from block 5 to block 4, it is only using the one sensor, this FB5. So right click on block 4, go to Properties, Routes, block 5 to block 4, it is going to be sensor FB5, and the event shall be enter to in. Apply. Now, the same as with block 2, we may have to come back and put on a second timer in here. So we shall try it first before we do that. Also, we need to set the speed for the block. OK. So now we shall have to set the speed from block 4 to block 5. I'm going to use the routes method. Table, routes, block 4 to block 5, speed, percentage, 5%. The same again, we can change all these ones down at the same time when we're in here. Makes no difference. The top one is the important one for just now. And also we want to do routes from block 5 to block 4, speed, take it down to 5% as well. Apply. Yeah. So let's give it a try now. Track plan, make sure it's on operate, power on, automatic mode switched on, take it from block 4 to block 5. Enters in, goes blue, triggers in time and stops. It has just went a little bit too far in for my liking, so right click, properties, routes. So 1000 milliseconds there, let's take that out to 0. Apply. OK. We shall take it from block 5 to block 4. It's now going to enter. The event timer starts. It stops. I'm quite happy with where it has stopped. If I wasn't happy, the same again, I could go down to this, properties, routes, and I could change for this one here. I could add event timer 2 and put in time here. But I'm quite happy with it so far. Apply. So that's me happy with all the blocks in here with this locomotive. We're now going to add a second locomotive into it, and you would need to check the locomotive going from block to block, as each locomotive has its own speed characteristics. Depending on the CV values, the locomotive running power, etc. A lot of variance, so you need to check with each locomotive to see if it's going to have the same place to stop. If not, we can look at changing the speed of locomotives again. I have now added another locomotive into the demo step-by-step tutorial area. So I'm going to start them up and let you see how they interact with each other. Thanks for watching. Bye.